Morning. Good afternoon.
Morning. Good afternoon. Feels like morning. Hi, Deputy Metz. Judge Middleton again. Could I see Abigail Adams down at the Polycom room?
Yes. I'll have her right there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. Luke, have you had a chance to talk to her?
Yeah, I did this morning, and come to find out, she was never married to the second president of the United States. But you know, yeah, I talked to her, and I have her on a possession case set for Tuesday. I was hoping to line everything up, but
All right.
yeah.
I saw something this week. The first president to be photographed was the fifth president, which is John Quincy Adams. In 1840, he was photographed. The first four, they only have portraits. So we don't have a picture of his dad.
Interesting.
You're all over this case, Luke. I appreciate the fact you got both circuit and our case. Casey's here. Deputy Metz is getting Abigail for us. We had some good zoning cases you guys missed out on in the meantime.
Let me guess. Junk in the yard, broken down vehicles, tires.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes, and yes.
Oh, man, those are tough.
As I said, we're trying to clean them up one parcel at a time. Luke, I think you got your mic problems taken care of, which I
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah, I bought a new computer. I couldn't figure it out. So
Oh, did you?
well, I spilled coffee on my MacBook last year, and it got into the keyboard, and I tried to, tried a whole bunch of different things, but Geek Genius basically said, look, this thing's a little older. You're gonna spend more trying to fix it. So I borrowed my wife's computer, and then that is the one that had the microphone issues. And so between me wanting to throw it in the river and her wanting her computer back, I just bought a new one, and they all
Well,
disappeared.
the world has changed. When I was a young prosecutor in the early 80s, a very wealthy, prominent lady here in St. Joe County got arrested on Christmas Eve. And they took her to the jail, and they asked her if she'd had anything to eat, and she said, I'm not into eating. But she picked up a cup of coffee and threw it into an IBM Selectric typewriter. And it shorted it out. And they put her in the jail, and they called Sheriff Balk. It was Christmas Eve. And somebody woke somebody up who called Sheriff Balk, and he let her go home for Christmas. And as part of her sentence, she bought the county a new IBM Selectric typewriter. So, and those were a big deal in 1980. You guys weren't born yet, but
Casey and I were actually born the same year. I don't know if they were, but we just figured that out the other day.
Roger Bird is maybe the only person living around here that still would remember that story. All right, Ms. Adams, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, I think it's safe to take your mask off. Give me a minute and get the thing situated here.
Okay.
And I did speak. We met earlier today, but some things have happened since. So if I could talk to Abby just a little bit in a breakout.
Sure, that's fine. Give me a minute here to get everything prepared. All right, Miss Adams, let's just detail why we're here. You were placed on probation in this file, 201970, on October 8th on a charge of domestic violence with a deferral. Your probation officer, Daniel Frazine, is here, and he alleges that you violated your probation by getting a new charge of domestic violence, failing to report as directed, failing to pay fees as directed, fail to abstain from the use of intoxicants, and failure to participate in treatment. You pled not guilty to that, and the matter was set for a hearing this afternoon at 2:30. Your original lawyer, Luke Knopfsinger, is appointed here. He's also representing you in the circuit court case. He'd like an opportunity to speak with you, so I'm going to put you in a private room where you can talk to him.
Okay.
Let me close the other one. All right. Her circuit court case is a possession of meth case.
And her DV charges did end up getting dropped, Your Honor.
All right, that's good to know. Well, we certainly have been doing a lot of this today. Gives us time to do some deep contemplation or answer emails. Let me get the file number on that case that got dismissed. I'll get it, Daniel. The air conditioner turned on. Casey, well, you were here last summer. This building can't decide whether to heat itself or cool itself in the spring and fall.
Yeah, well, I wish it would cool itself today.
78 degrees in my office. That's set for PEC.
Muted, Dan.
Yep, sorry. Judge, did you want the number on the DV case that was DMOP?
I think it's, yeah, let me get out of this screen.
Okay.
Is it 20-2573?
Yes, sir.
All right, I gotta close the room and bring poor Abigail back. There she is. All right, we're returning to the record in People versus Abigail Ann Adams. Mr. Luke Knopfinger is here on behalf of the defendant. Mr. Daniel Frazine, our probation agent, is here. Mr. Casey Johnson is here from the prosecutor's office. And this is Judge Middleton. I'm here in the courtroom in beautiful downtown Centerville. Mr. Knopfinger, what's the status here?
Your Honor, we're prepared to make an admission that Ms. Adams failed to report to the probation office for the last couple months.
Is that true, Ms. Adams?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand you could have a hearing on this matter, or it'd have to be proven by probable cause standard that you violated your probation? Kind of watering this down, there are a number of other things in here, like you're not doing treatment or testing. But you also indicated you've stopped reporting. Did anyone threaten you to get you to plead to that?
No.
Or threaten you?
No.
All right, what happened? Why did you stop? This looks like all the wheels fell off here.
Basically, I just too much going on in my world. I think I made bad decisions, and this is where I'm at.
Well, that's a realization of your circumstances. Where were you living, on 3rd Street?
Yes, sir.
Now, you got, to further complicate things, you got a DV charge which was dismissed, and you have a new methamphetamine charge. Ms. Adams, the recurring theme for today and many days has been methamphetamine. People that are addicted to methamphetamine don't track straight. They don't show up when they're supposed to. They don't report when they're supposed to. They don't test when they're supposed to. They aren't truthful about their circumstances. And their life is just very disorganized. You've been in jail for 7 days now, so you're much more calm and clear-headed than you were the last time I talked to you. But methamphetamine
Yes.
is like throwing a hand grenade inside your life and having it go off about 5 times. You're not some evil, terrible person. You're just struggling with a substance abuse issue. But there's consequences, and you seem to acknowledge that. Daniel, what's your thought here?
Well, she has a little bigger fish to fry in circuit court, and in all likelihood, she'll probably get, if she's found guilty, she'll be on a probation with them, so I can't see keeping her on a probation. She failed to report on 1, 2, 3, 4 separate occasions, so that would be technically 4 technicals. I would just recommend revoking your probation at this point.
Luke, what's your thought?
Well, this is maybe kind of pie in the sky, but she's on a DV deferral. I'm sympathetic if she doesn't have the money to pay for an anger management class, and I think Dan referenced in his report that maybe there were some alternatives to that. I think that there's a big difference. Well, and let me mention too, and I think the court referenced it, that there is a possession of methamphetamine case that is in district court. It's set for a PEC on this Tuesday. I represent her in that respect. This is the only criminal case she's ever had. I know there was a DV dismissed. I'm not too clear on the particulars. But she would be eligible for a 7411 probation in that other matter. I have had some initial conversations with the prosecutor's office. And so, sometimes the question for me is, well, if here we are at a probation violation hearing, what's the difference if we haven't been able to be successful up to this point? why would we be successful in the future, especially given that if she is eligible and placed on a 7411, that there is some real incentive to complete that. And having spoken to Abby, up until last fall, she hadn't done a night in jail. At the front end, she did a night in jail. For some people that shakes sense into them, right? But there's a big difference between doing a night in jail, and then there's a big difference between being arrested, getting the garb, and then being put in the back. And all the interactions I've had with Abby, she's been clear-headed. She's been, respectful. She believes she can complete the not only the DV probation, but if she were granted 7411, and we're not here today for that she could complete that. And there's real incentive for her to complete that. She is entitled to 7 days jail credit. In this case, I would ask the court to allow her to continue the probation. We've talked about the potential consequences of that. If your probation continues, there could be subsequent jail time, but I don't know. I know that you look at the report that it isn't very inspiring, but I don't think that she should in some ways be punished if she doesn't have money to pay for a class, and maybe there are some alternatives that need to be explored. She tells me that in December her phone was taken during a raid, so that would explain some of the lack of communication. And then she tells me emailed Dan in January, didn't receive a response. So I don't know.
Well, she was placed on this probation in October, and in November she got arrested on the other charge. And what's your status with Ashley?
I've been taking care of her. She's gotten a lot sicker. I've only been taking care of her lately because there's nobody else to take care of her. She has nobody else. I don't have anyone else here, or I don't have anywhere else to live here. So that was, I take care of her, and therefore I get a place to stay. But really, when it's all said and done and I'm off probation, I want to go home.
Where are you from originally?
West Virginia.
How'd you end
I
up
moved
in
out
this?
here.
Go ahead.
I moved out here 8 years ago to live with my dad's, one of his friends, because I had a drug addiction then, and I wanted better for my life, and I was doing better, and I slipped up.
Yeah, I like this version a lot better than the other one, but the allegation in November is that he hit Ashley with a flashlight, and that was a very unpleasant thing. That case got dismissed.
Right.
So I won't get into it, but part of your probation was no assaultive or threatening behavior. And
Right.
do you want to be on probation? You want to just get this over with?
What entails getting it over with?
Well, Daniel's recommending the deferred jail time, which was 10 days jail. You've been in jail for 7 days. It would take the deferral away. You would end up having a conviction on your record. The rules changed April 1st under a big set of new laws that got passed all at once, that were all sort of adjusting to defense attorneys, prosecutors, judges, and defendants. But it limits a lot of my discretion to sanction people, either originally to put them on probation, to revoke their probation, although it doesn't apply to domestic violence cases. So I don't think you're going to be successful in this probation. You weren't testing, you weren't you were still using, you got arrested for a new assaultive offense while you were on the probation. In fact, within a month of when you got put on this probation, you got arrested again. So we've gotten very little success. So I'm gonna follow Daniel's recommendation. The methamphetamine case is holding you anyway. As you've learned, there's plenty of a methamphetamine problem here in St. Joe County, Michigan. What county did you live in West Virginia?
Hancock County.
What's the county seat of that?
New Cumberland.
Okay. Well, it's a pretty territory out there, but it's depressed, even more depressed than some places here. Michigan isn't doing that bad, but here in this part of Southwest Michigan, we have a lot of methamphetamine.
Yeah, I didn't know that at first.
Well, you learned it once you got here. I'm gonna order 12 days jail, credit 7, leaving 5 days to serve. Waive all fines and costs. Probation is revoked. Who's taking care of Ashley now?
I have no idea.
How old is she?
35.
What are her health problems?
She has a stage 4 lymphoma.
Oh my. Well, you're not going to be much help to her unless you're clean. You're not tracking straight when you're on meth. You're spending money on meth. You're not a methamphetamine addict is not much help to anybody. But I don't know how she's doing without you being there, but this matter's done. Probation's revoked, 12 days, credit 7, concurrent with the methamphetamine case 21688FY. Now that's set for a pre-exam conference next Tuesday, April 13th. So I will see you again then. You were so much easier to talk to today, pleasant, intelligent, rational, thoughtful. I want to see this version again when I see you next Tuesday. So Luke will be here with you and we'll see where we proceed. This matter is over and done with. This will show up on your record as a domestic assault conviction. All right, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Luke. Thank you, Casey, Daniel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll stop the record. And we'll stop the live feed. I'm going to go back to my 80-degree office. We'll be back tomorrow morning with a range of other criminal matters. This concludes this day.